What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Gotham Knights Heroic Assault. This is going to kind of be my review of it. Now, I say kinda because I haven't done the full thing, and when it comes to reviews, I try to really do everything there is to do in the thing that I'm reviewing in order to give a review. So it's a little tricky, but I do feel like, because I'm on floor 15 out of floor 30, so I'm literally halfway through, and I get the sense of what this is. Now, I haven't done the Starro part yet because that is actually the final floor of this entire thing. So you actually have to get to floor 30. You have to get to power level 20,000. I think it's 20,400, something insane like that, in order to do that one. I don't know what it actually looks like. I do know that on wave 10 or floor 10, sorry, because you gotta differentiate floors from waves. On floor 10, you have to transport a turret from one location to the next and defend it, and enemies are constantly attacking. I assume that's what Starro is. Just to kind of give you guys that background, I'm literally halfway through, but I do think I have a good sense of what's going on here. So I think it's an overall fine thing. It's tough to think about because I'm not like a gigantic fan. I will say, like, immediately starting at the first couple floors, I would probably say I was more of a not fan, like more actively not liking it than I was liking it. I will say, as you get up there in the floors and as you play with more people, so I know they didn't really do any kind of job at like explaining what this actually is, but you go to a building in the top left of the map, which I actually have seen people say that their game is glitched and Heroic Assault doesn't appear in their game. That's fantastic. But once you do get there, you enter a room, you can change your knights, you can change like a workbench, right? You can do your gear and stuff, and then you activate floors, and you do floors 1 through 30, and you can do it by yourself, or you could do it up to 4 players. So when it says 4-player co-op, I actually thought you'd be required to play with 4 people. Turns out you're not. Actually, you can play with as many people or as little people as possible. Now, you need to play it with more than one, I think. I can't imagine specifically some of these floors I talked about. So one of them would be that transporting the turret one. I can't imagine you doing that by yourself. There's also ones where you have to repair generators, not Dead by Daylight, but in Gotham Knights, and you have to do 4 of them, and there's enemies everywhere, and they don't stop coming. So you literally have to have a distraction. You have to have a couple people distract the enemies, pull them away from the generators to repair, and then you go and you press A or X and you hold, and then you repair the thing and you go on to the next one. So those also I can't imagine you doing with just one person. I really can't. I mean, I know I did see some people say in my comments like, hey, I'm going to play it by myself. I wish you the best of luck. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying it's probably not going to work out for you. You could probably get through at least floors 1 through 5, maybe like 1 through 7, but once you get like 8, 9, 10, obviously it gets a whole lot harder. And I mentioned the power levels, like they're up there, and I'm kind of going with the power level with the floors. Like, I'm kind of matching it. I think I got my power level around like 9,000 now, which is much higher than what it was when I started these floors. But like I said, in order to get to the last one, 20,000, I think 400 is the power level you should be. And you feel it because the enemies are harder. There's more bosses, right? Like drone people, those awful enemies in a good way. I mean, they're very challenging. They appear more often, but I do think it's overall fun. I really do. I think kind of balanced out with all that other stuff of like them not really saying anything about this mode besides pictures. I do think if you have, and this is an important if you have a full group and you're going through and you're battling, I actually think this mode is extremely fun. The issue is finding the people. So I don't, as of right now, as of recording this and as of playing it myself, I don't know how you like host a matchmaking thing, because all I managed to do is kind of be my own host, invite people on my friends list, and that's it. And then if I want to join somebody, like if I say, well, I don't have 3 friends I want to join, you can do matchmaking and join a matchmake session, but you're not the host of it. So the host would then pick the floor. So I don't know how to be the host, and that really honestly hurt me because I did play with me and 3 others a couple times, and I loved it. I actually, again, that is when it's at its most fun, is when you are going through with 3 other people. 2 of you are fighting one enemy, another one's fighting another one's doing an objective. It can get really, really fun. Or like I said, that turret one, when I did the turret one, we had like me and somebody else on the turret, somebody behind the turret fighting the enemies coming from behind, and then somebody in front of the turret fighting enemies in front of them. Gotham, it's honestly really fun when that happens. It is, because it really is just the 2-player mode that Gotham Knights has, and that's a lot of fun too when when you're playing it together and you're fighting enemies, and it's that kind of cooperative thing, and then you just add 2 more people. So I really do think that's when it's at its absolute best. When you don't have 4 people, it starts to, it's a lot more challenging. I guess that's the first thing, but it doesn't hold up, right? So I would say 3, at least 3, but I would say 4 people is when this thing is at its best. Now, it's fun and you're battling enemies, and I will say it's odd because there is there's a hook to it. Now, one of the negatives, and you may be able to guess this if you've played Gotham Knights, is, shocker, it repeats itself quite often. There's nothing new once you play it a few times. You notice that all of the maps, all the levels are exactly the same. The areas in which chests are located, right? Because you fight in a floor, and then you go through a couple like tunnel systems to get to the next one. And in those tunnel systems, there's chests, right, where you can open them, and they're always in the same location, and the floors are always the same. Now, they'll mix and match, so it won't be literally like floor 1 or like, let's say, level 1, level 2, level 3 in that order. And I think there's more than 3. There's probably like 5 or 6, and I think they mix them up. So you might do level 1, level 3, level 5, and then the next one you might do level 2, level 5, level 3. And so, you see the same things over and over, okay? Which, again, is not surprising if you've played the actual Gotham Knights game. You wouldn't be shocked to hear that it repeats itself quite often. Again, that doesn't help massively because you do feel like you're doing the exact same thing over and over again. The good news is when you're playing it with a group of people and the objectives are also the same, but they also mix up, right? Or it's the generators, or you have to activate a console, or you just have to fight waves of enemies. It's, there's not too many to choose from, but they try to mix it up so you're not doing the same thing every time, and they're always getting harder. Now, that I really think is the best part of it, is that the difficulty goes up, and they rotate factions. So every so often you might fight Talons, you might fight Freaks, you might fight Regulators. So they mix it up as you go throughout the entire thing. And I know I had complained early on about the gear and what they give you. What I guess I have noticed is they do give you better stuff as you go in the floors, as you go, I guess, down or up, whichever direction you're technically going, as you get higher up. I would say that, right? So floor 1, the kind of gear you're getting, or mods or whatever, is actually kind of pathetic compared to where you should be on floor 1. But by the time you get to, floor 13, 14, 15, you get some really good stuff, I would say. So what I've noticed, as I said, is I am leveling up. My power level is going up as these floors continue to go on. I didn't feel like that was going to happen probably at like floor 6, 7, somewhere in that range. I was like, they are still giving me level 28 things. I'm level 40. This is not going to help me. But then they give you a new suit randomly, or then they give you, a mod that's actually like a legendary or something really good or epic, right? So those things do come. They just come, they come into the floors that I kind of wanted them right away. I guess you have to play it a little bit more than I did originally. I've started to earn some stuff now, and I am enjoying it. So it's tough. And also, the final thing, it's a free update. That's the toughest thing in talking about it, because I don't think this is like some game-changing thing. I don't think this changes anybody's minds about Gotham Knights. You play it with more people, so now you literally can play with 4 people. People had been asking to play the game with 4 people, but you're not playing the actual game. You're not, I guess, what people were asking for. You can't actually do that. You can only do this. It is fun, though. It is fun to play with 4 people. Just does it bring anything, like, substantial to the game? I mean, I would argue it kind of does. You can put in probably 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically right now, I've put in probably 4 hours into just these waves, and I'm about halfway through. So you imagine maybe it doubles. If you can put in even 6 to 10 hours, let's say, in this, yeah, you're doing the same thing over and over, but you're having fun, ideally with 3 people, right? 3 additional people and then yourselves. It's a challenge. You're getting better gear. You're getting better loot, like all that stuff. And I don't know, you're seeing some things that are a little bit different, and it's free. They didn't have to do this mode. I don't think it changes Gotham Knights in any way. I stand by my review, like, fully, but it's just an extra kind of thing to throw out there. So if you enjoy Gotham Knights, I would say, honestly, definitely play this. The issue is, of course, finding those people. The thing is, we are all on the internet. How many friends, and I say this as an insult to myself as well, how many friends do we have? I don't have that many friends, and I have a channel, and I can't even sometimes find find 4 people or 3 people to play with. So no, if you just kidding. If you can find the people to play this game with, if you can find yourself and 3 others, I do think this game is really fun. And it kind of actually goes faster. If you're playing with 4 people in all, you can probably get through these waves in like 10 or so minutes, which would actually reduce the time that this gives to the game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you enjoying it, or are you not liking it? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.